Rook, you're here. Good. I had a question for my story.
Sure. What kind of question?
Oh, well, a personal one, I guess. Maybe not. Never mind.
Oh, come on. I'm curious now.
Okay, I'll try. I'm gonna do this. So I'm having fun. It's different, but neat. And the fighting bits are going well. So's the romance, mostly.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I'm glad it's going well.
It is. It helps. All of what we do, I mean. Not that I'm writing about us, but, well, it's us inspired.
So, what did you want to ask then?
It's my hero. I know who they are, what they look like, all of that. But I can't figure out the why.
Why what?
Why they do it. Risk it all. Save the world. Well, you're a hero. I mean, a real one. So why are you doing all this?
The world is going to end if we don't stop it. And I don't see a whole lot of other people lining up to help.
I wish I could be like that. Facing danger, caution to the wind.
But that's pretty much exactly what you do, all the time.
Sure, because I have to. And I'm scared the whole time.
Everyone's scared sometimes. It's what you do with the fear that counts. Facing it, fighting through it, that's what a hero does.
I guess so. It's hard to think of it that way. We are going up against a god. Multiple gods, actually. That feels heroic. To me, at least. And we're saving the world.
We're gonna see this through. All the way.
I like that confidence. Anyways, I should get back to it. Writing. Thanks, Rook. That helped. A lot.
Definitely thought she was going to ask a question about Tosh, but this is good too. The Randy Dowager Quarterly, again, puts a bow on the year by gifting us the illustrated Inquisition Exposed, being a modern epic of love, betrayal, breaches torn, see what you did there, and the eternal struggle between concerns mortal and passions mysterious, an artfully branching romantic narrative that encourages the bibliophile to self-insert or guide a friend. Says a page turner quickly flicked, describing both no. Nope, not gonna read that. Okay, let's move on.
Have you seen Hassan?
Wasn't he in your room?
I'll go check. Just watch and make sure he doesn't get in here. I promised Emmerich I wouldn't let him make another nest of books. Did you hear that? Was that the sound of a griffin vomiting?
Ugh. I don't hear anything.
Right. Good. To fish damn pages out of his son's mouth. Again.
Do you have a favorite book here yet?
I can hardly pick one.
What? Will they get jealous?
Well, that copy of De Mortis Mysterious has begun following me about the lighthouse. Have you read anything interesting lately, Harding?
Maybe. I think the last book I tried rewrote itself when I wasn't looking. And I still didn't like the ending.
Spot any good books, Emmerich?
Hundreds! Works on mimetic transfusion, votively enkindled runes, lost forms of spirit communion. Meanwhile, Harding discovered a lurid novel about a blood-soaked castle somehow.
You know if she's done with it.
So Mira's been running around for a while, and I typically would have changed her hair multiple times by now, but there's really only one hairstyle that I like, and we're gonna save that for the end. But then it hit me. Horns. She deserves a new horn style, so here we are.
Hey, Rook. There's a complete collection of Randy Dowager Quarterlies here. I see Chuckles in a new light now.
I'm actually not at all surprised by that. Does anybody remember in Trespasser, I think it's outside of the Temple of Fen'Harel, there's a copy of Hardin Hightown and a sock next to it? No? Anyways, I'm going to pick new horns for our girl, and then we're going to head to Docktown to talk to May.
Ah, you follow Ravain's death customs, Taj?
With my mom's horn? Yeah. You know about that stuff?
Watchers often learn other death practices. I've read that great care goes into Ravaini memorial jewelry.
Yeah. Got the best goldsmith in the Lords. She did little runes in the old Qunari language along the edges. Even had a seer do a blessing. My mother would hate that.
And you?
I'm glad she's with me.
And I'm glad these two are being nice to one another.
Get the new supplies, will ya?
Yes, Lorelei. Everyone's talking about how you helped drive off the dragon. I'm glad I wasn't anywhere near the area.
Really? That was a long time ago. Shadow Dragons. A notice found on a wall in Docktown. A sketch of the Archon's palace is crossed out in red paint. They'll torture us if it suits them. They've done it before. They've bled our bodies and butchered our cities to feed their hunger for power. And they're always hungry. Make them remember the Tevinter they've forgotten. The Tevinter hidden down here in the darkness beneath their towers. The Highbloods don't own us. They don't own Tevinter. If they will not share it, then we will take it from them. There are dragons in the shadows too. There are more of us than them. Bring the light. How long has that been there? Hopefully it's recent. I didn't just miss it.
Things are going well.
Hey.
Hey, yourself.
All right, I forgot y'all are friends now. Very nice.
You spend far too much time here, Dorian.
This is where all my favorite people are. Besides, I have news, and every messenger bird I've met is dreadful at nuance.
What's the problem with Magister Parvis being here?
He's our eyes and ears in the Magisterium. He needs to keep suspicion off him.
Yes, I know. Can't be spotted with the shadow dragons. You worry too much, May.
Well, what do you have for us?
The cult lost people in Alathan, and leadership has fallen to Knight Commander Lenos. He aims to bring the city to its knees.
But Meravas is already falling apart.
I know. While the Varantis' attack on the city could have been much worse, the people's fear in the aftermath is palpable.
And the rumors about the Archon are true. He's dead. Assassinated during the Dragon's rampage. The palace has tried to keep the news from spreading until a new Archon steps up.
And no one has?
No one dares. Not with the Venatori circling like vultures. The risen gods are preparing for something big. And for that, they need fear. Chaos.
Just tell me how I stop them. What are they planning?
That's the problem. I don't know. But we'll find out. Lenos is the key to all of it. First, we stop what he's planning for Meravas.
And then we find out what the gods are preparing for.
Let's hope it stays that simple. One of Lenos' Venatori associates is often at the Cobbled Swan. Let's see what we can get from him.
We? Dorian, you can't be going yourself.
It's the Swan. Everyone goes to the Swan.
I'll head out right now.
Even after saving the city, Venatori are relentless.
We really need to figure out the god's big plan. Dorian thinks Knight Commander Lenos is part of it, so let's track him down first.
Have the Lords of Fortune picked a new expert to assess Qunari treasures?
Tried out a guy. Useless as tits on a drake. Couldn't tell a first expedition is Solitar from a Steel Age ritual jug.
Ridiculous. So you'll be handling things for the Lords?
I guess. Until we find a real expert, like my mother.
I wish you luck in finding them.
Tosh, it sounds like you are the real expert. I don't think they would ever admit that, though.
I'd only ever read about Minrathous before traveling with you. Very few books mention the sheer inequalities one sees on its streets.
Everything out there is written by high bloods. They don't see what we see. We probably shouldn't keep Dorian waiting too long.
Oh.
Hey, bro.
Hey, Nev.
There's Dorian.
We'll come back for you later.
There's Lenos's associate. According to the shadows watching him, he's nervous and doesn't talk much, but does odd jobs for coin. Interesting, yes? I'll draw him off, you check his belongings, see if you can discover any clues about Lenos's plan.
Got clues to investigate. A map of the Minrathous streets near the waterworks and an ominous caption, Blight and Darkspawn released, the city yields to the Horde.
Half-eaten stale bread, water flask, muddy socks. And this map. Minrathous targets. That doesn't sound good.
Hey, we got it on the first try, though.
What are you poking about in there for?
Go about your business.
Lenos intends to destroy the city with Blight and Darkspawn.
Carthus. Nothing like an attack to cause chaos in a city.
You should head there immediately.
All right, let's go.
There's quite a few of them. Just to make that room.
Everything's crumbling down here. Might be tricky to get out.
It smells weird down here.
We need to find the other boil. Find the blight boils. We need to clear the way and keep pushing. We got it. Way should be clear.
Shadow dragons? How did you fight this place? Venatori, come in! Do you think you've won? Do you think you can stop the Venatori? Or the risen gods?
We're certainly gonna try.
The Shadow Dragons are all nothing but chaos to the city. Bring these dissidents to justice. That's an order. That you remain standing is an affront to Tevinter.
We are Tevinter.
All yours.
All set. That one, quickly.
It's one less corrupt Templar in Minrathous. Let's look around, see what we find.
Weird place to hang out.
I assume Meravas is gonna summarize these for us.
The Risen God's ritual.
Yep.
That's what the gods in the Venatori are preparing for. Lenos's documents. They detail the Venatori's long-term plans and what they want to do with Tevinter. These star charts predict an eclipse to make magic stronger.
So they're doing magic crap under an eclipse. That's never good.
All this. The ritual, the eclipse, and the Venatori plans. We have to bring this to the Shadow Dragons immediately.
The Shadow Dragons will be pleased to learn of what transpired here.
Evil old gods, rituals, waiting for the stars. It's about as Tevinter as blood magic and hubris. Learning about the gods' plans is wonderful, of course. But the lists of magisters you got your hands on, now there's the real gold.
You've looked at it already. Of course you have.
Information on their backers, the ties to illegal slavery. Don't you see what this means? This is power, May. Imagine becoming Archon and using this against those who've been hurting the people for years.
You, on the throne, Dorian.
Tell me that wouldn't be a splendid way to bring about real change.
Real change. Yeah, I mean, Meravas is a hopeful person, but she's been a shadow for a while now, and not much seems to have changed, so she's ready for some drastic action that's actually going to do something here.
The Shadow Dragons have heard that before. After Corypheus with the Lucerni. We expose corruption and stop slavers, but nothing really changes. What makes you think it'll be different this time?
Surely you're not suggesting we give up entirely. After all, you're still here. The rot in Tevinter is buried deep. We've been digging it out bit by bit, only for it to grow back. But what you've given us allows us to strike at the heart.
So the rot has no chance to return. But how would you use this information exactly?
Dorian wants to use it to crush our enemies by whatever means necessary. I prefer to use it to rally the people. I say we make the information known. Allow the people to see the real justice served. Prove that from now on, we work for them.
We tried that already. Or have you forgotten the Lucerni? I no longer trust that political machine will work in our favor. No. We must get at the root of the problem before they can react. A more forceful approach. Destroy them and their networks utterly.
Swords and spies and blackmail? The devious means you learned in the South? If we go outside the system, we invite everyone else to do the same. No, we have to do this in the open. Show the people of Tevinter that we're here for them.
We're Shadow Dragons. It's right there in the name. You supported this because you knew the system didn't work for the people.
The point was to work in the shadows until we could work in the light. And Rook has brought us what we need.
May, the Imperium's politics burned you once and you still...
Enough. We're not the only ones who have a stake in this. Rook, we're talking about your city. Your Tevinter too. Which strategy do you prefer?
It's really reform or revolution here, and Dorian's right. They've tried to work within the system, but it is broken.
Shouldn't you be on the same side?
We are on the same side. We both know what Tevinter needs. How best to get it, that's the question.
If we went with Dorian's plan, I'd support it fully. But we won't, because he'll come around and realize that I'm right.
And I'd absolutely back you up on that, if you were right, which you aren't.
We'll see.
Will we?
So confident. We'll keep asking questions.
What sort of change are you trying to achieve?
For a start, slavery. Abhorrent. It needs to go no more.
And Tevinter has been ruled by the Altus Mages for all of its history. That must change. The Zoparati, non-mages, deserve a say in their own governance.
And all that's just the beginning of what will undoubtedly be a long journey.
Maybe a younger and earlier Meravas would have been more keen on the more peaceful approach when she was a bit more naive, but I don't know that's gonna fly this time.
Dorian, are you really suggesting violent revolution?
Not necessarily. Sometimes a mere threat of violence is sufficient.
He learned that from his friends in the south.
Hey, leave Ash
I hear
alone.
Ferelden settled a succession crisis with a duel.
It worked. Astoundingly.
We're not Ferelden.
I'm merely saying we need to consider bold and creative methods of achieving our ends. The game is rigged. Why play by rules crooked magisters already exploit? Clear the board and start over. If they're gone, we can fill the magisterium with those who respect the office. Then we'll actually see progress.
Well, I think she knows they're gonna make her choose, but she's right, it's a big decision.
You want me to choose who'll be Archon? Sure, I'm a shadow dragon, but there are so many others here.
Then talk to them. Ask what they think. Asher and Tarquin, Nev, Gallus, they're all a part of this, just as you are. We should all be comfortable with whatever course we take.
All right, I'll go do that.
Okay, we'll see what everybody else has to say.
So what do you think?
Lenos is gone. We got information about the Venatori's plans, the god's ritual. Would have liked to see his face when he lost, but having him gone is good enough.
I meant about Meravas and Dorian. We all want change. Who will be the more effective in getting it?
Oh, that. You're dragging me into it?
Oh, now you don't want to be involved in a decision concerning your city. How convenient.
It's as much your city as it is mine.
Meravas Talani has been in this game for decades. She's dedicated and ruthless when she needs to be. Dorian Parvis is a wild card. Flashy and inventive, he'll keep his enemies on their toes. But damn it, there's no right answer. They both play the game well, and Tevinter's ready for change. But the best way to get it, who can make it happen, I wish I knew.
That's okay.
Grand news about Lenos. One less crooked Templar in town.
The city will be better off with him gone.
We can hope.
Lenos made my life miserable. Rana's too.
I hear he started out different. Maybe he once cared about something other than gold. But I didn't know that, Lenos. And I'm not going to mourn the one I did. Still, I'll thank the bastard for writing everything down and delivering it to us all neat.
Dorian and Meravas still have to decide what to do with everything we got from Lenos.
They both make good points. I just want what's best for our city and its people.
I suspect this decision will determine Tevinter's path for years to come.
Then Dorian's way is my choice. He knows you don't stop to talk when you find a hole in the enemy's defenses.
Dorian is a brash rebel.
And Meravas too much of a romantic.
I think the people will appreciate Meravas returning as the leader they've always wanted to see.
No. They'll appreciate their lives actually changing for the better.
What do you think might happen depending on who leads?
With May, she gets power back again. Gets one more shot at changing Tevinter from the top down. Worst that could happen is nothing. But that's what you risk when all you rely on is hope. But with Dorian...
We could get chaos, strife. Things might get harder before they get easier. If they get easier.
I'll take my chances.
And whoever leaves will have the Shadow Dragon support, right?
Count on it.
We'll keep fighting. For Dorian. Or for Meravas.
What else is there to do in this town, anyway? It rains all the damn time.
It's good to know the Shadows will support the decision either way.
Maker. A full quarter of the Magisterium supporting a cult. Bending the knee to these risen old gods just for a taste of more power. Can they not see they're only tools for the gods? So they can destroy the world?
Demanding intelligence, rationality, and self-awareness from our peers. You ask too much, Mevaris.
Look at me. Such a fool.
Ah, it's Rook. You spoke with the others.
What do you think? Who should be leading the charge from here on?
I think she's made up her mind, but she might just clarify a few things first. Yeah.
What happens after it's decided who'll lead?
Well, Lenos is gone, the cult's numbers are down, and they're scrambling to prepare for the god's ritual. They'll be distracted. It's a perfect opportunity to get our preparations in order.
All plans contingent on surviving the current disaster, of course.
I hope this signals the start of the change we've worked toward.
The start of the change, as you say. Things won't be different overnight.
But we'll keep fighting, because we have to, because there's no other way.
And with you and everyone here, we'll get there. We'll win. Keep believing, Rook.
Always. Especially with Dorian in power. Ashlene's gonna be so proud of him.
Dorian should lead.
Then it is decided. Of course, it only makes sense, but... Ha! Look at me! The sudden pressure.
You won't be alone. All of us are behind you. The Shadow Dragons, the city, her people.
It will take all of them to overcome the risen gods.
You'll find a way to bring them together.
The people know they don't want blight-ridden fiends in their city. They don't need me to tell them. I can, however, show them how to fight. Gods, cults, evil magisters, nothing will stand in our way of forging a new Tevinter.
A thing like that.
I must thank you again for everything you've done. Not being overrun with blight. Wonderful. And now we also have hope of changing things for the better.
It's about time we took back our city.
We won a victory against the Venatori. A good step, but it's not over.
Right. The risen gods are still out there.
We'll be vigilant.
Well, since we're here, I believe we have enough influence now to unlock the last shop rank.
I'm taking a job at some Magister's estate.
Get the new supplies, will ya?
Of course.
Heard about that damn Knight Commander. Good riddance.
Go team.
Come back soon. We'll have more.
Manfred's real talky now.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, good for him.
I can tell Tosh is still a little creeped out by Manfred, but they're still proud of him.
I really should read more. Emmerich is always recommending books to me.
What sort?
Books that use words like transubstantiation and epistemic. Feels like I need a second book to explain the first book.
Elgernon's an asshole. Talking in people's minds, promising them stuff. It's messed up. At least we saved the Dalish. That'll piss him off.
Mm-hmm. They're not even, like, breathing hard. That's just... Okay, stop watching them and go be productive, Meravas.